A business on the banks of the Swannanoa River is past surveying the damage, and they're looking at rebuilding for the future.
Yeah, that's really neat. They're looking forward. News 13's Justin Berger reports from inside those damaged walls in Asheville.
77,000 square feet gutted, millions of dollars of merchandise rushed down river or shattered against the walls. But the antique tobacco barn isn't going anywhere. Helene couldn't wash away a piece of Asheville's history. Not all of it.
We're starting to see more offers for help to get back to business, and that feels natural and right.
Brittany Court and John Pomeroy sit on mud-covered buckets in a building that just weeks ago looked like this.
This would have been in Mark Warthersby. This would have been MSW. He had a fine selection of wooden cabinets and dressers, mid-century and antique-like.
It's all gone, flushed down the Swannanoa River, or in this pile outside. But the bones remain.
All these trusses were out of a World War I ship that was decommissioned, and so they call them Liberty buildings, and so they can withstand a little water.
And the barn's history with them.
We have a handful of vendors whose parents auction their tobacco here. You can see the gold leaf letters with the numbers are from the lots, right? It was also the biggest dance hall in the Southeast in the 1920s. Had a trick and pony show before that.
Yeah, they kept horses in here, which is why it was called the Hippodrome property. We've had the opportunity kind of more than that. And now I think the best thing for our dealers, ourselves, our town is to rebuild and make economic recovery a real thing.
A little flood proofing.
So rather than having solid walls at the bottom, we'll have areas where the water can basically pass through the building.
And some help.
And I'm not asking for a handout. I'm totally fine paying interest and paying it back. I bought this with the SBA loan, and so I feel like I got good credit with them. They give me a couple $1 million, I'm building 10,000 more square feet that's out of the floodplain and giving 40 more booths to people, hiring more employees, and making Asheville a place that people want to come to again.
The antique tobacco barn, serving the community for 4 decades, plans to be back up and running around the first of the year for their Christmas market.
A couple skylights that we tear down over here, plug those things on.
Court says her vendors are ready to get back. They'll have a few months of free rent.
Anybody who's crazy enough to put their stuff back in here deserves a break.
Asheville needs antique tobacco barn. Of course, I think that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We were quite proud of it.
Yeah.
It's 100 years old, and it's been through a couple of these already. Hopefully no more for a while.
In Asheville, Justin Berger, News 13.
A nonprofit in Transylvania County is asking neighbors to help out as it looks to find places for dozens of families left homeless by Helene. County officials determined there are 74 structures with substantial damage. That led to 57 displaced families with children in the school system there. Because of that, a housing assistance nonprofit is looking for space for people and families who are now homeless in the wake of Helene.
We just really want people to be able to stay in our communities. We want our neighbors to be here. And until we have those FEMA campers coming in for individual households, we're trying to bridge the gap. And that could be that someone lends their RV or camper. It could be that someone opens an Airbnb, a room in their home.
If you have or need a place for these families to stay, you can visit housing-assistance.com for help.
And this morning, help for Helene recovery now coming from the Carolina Panthers. The NFL team offering grants to help high school athletic programs in North and South Carolina. The grant will be used to help with sports equipment repairs, supplies, and athletic infrastructure that was lost or damaged during the storm. Damage we saw firsthand just after Helene here at Pisgah High School Stadium. The football field now a total loss. High schools can apply for grants ranging from $5,000 to $25,000. Applications will be distributed to league member schools, and they must be returned by November 1st. And today, Buncombe County's emergency curfew is being lifted. You'll no longer need to stick to the 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in the city of Asheville. Tomorrow, there's a 6 o'clock candlelight vigil, by the way, at Pack Square Park. That event pays tribute to the lives lost during Helene.
Governor Roy Cooper and FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell and other state officials will be in Western North Carolina today. We expect them to visit a community care station and talk about the storm recovery. We'll pass along any significant developments.
And bringing you updates on new hours and a new way to pick up supplies beginning today. The Black Mountain Ingalls distribution site will have new hours noon to 4 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. You'll be able to park and shop with a volunteer once you arrive on site. The site is still accepting donations daily. They're in need of detergent, pet supplies, camping supplies, and propane. Volunteers are needed daily from 11 to 8.
And we hope you'll join us all day on Thursday for a day of giving called Together WNC Helping After Helene.
Yeah, we're partnering with the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina to raise money for organizations in need. We'll be reporting live from Manna Food Bank beginning at 5 a.m. with special coverage on News 13 from 4 to 5 p.m. and streaming on YouTube. We know times out there are tough for so many people, but those who can give know anything right now helps.